There's a mountain so deadly it claimed the lives of 500 climbers, but still inspired the iconic Toblerone chocolate. That's the Matterhorn, Switzerland's most famous peak. And here's another surprise. Switzerland's car-free village feels like stepping into a magical world where time stands still. But that's just the beginning. From underground dragon caves to Europe's largest waterfalls, Switzerland is packed with wonders you won't believe are real. Ready for an adventure that feels straight out of a fantasy? Let's go. Number 1. Zermatt and the mighty Matterhorn. Imagine standing in front of a mountain so iconic that it inspired the shape of the Toblerone chocolate bar. Yes, I'm talking about the Matterhorn in Zermatt. If you've ever seen the Paramount Pictures logo, you've got a hint of what this majestic peak looks like. It's like nature decided to carve out its own Hollywood star. Now here's a little secret. While everyone is busy snapping photos from the usual spots, there's a hidden lake called Stelsee. If you hike a bit off the beaten path, you'll find this tranquil spot where the Matterhorn reflects perfectly in the calm waters. It's like stepping into a postcard, but better because you're actually there. But wait, there's more! Did you know that Zermatt is a car-free village? That's right. The only vehicles you'll see are tiny electric carts and horse-drawn carriages. Walking through the charming streets feels like you've traveled back in time, minus the plague and poor hygiene. And if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, you'll half expect to see hobbits popping out of the cozy wooden chalets. If you're feeling adventurous, take the Gornergrat Railway up to one of the highest summits accessible by rail in Europe. The views are so breathtaking that even your camera will thank you. Just make sure to dress warmly. It's colder up there than a polar bear's toenails. Number 2. The enchanting town of Lucerne. Ever wanted to walk through a fairy tale? Welcome to Lucerne, where medieval architecture meets modern life in the most charming way possible. Picture this, you're strolling across the Chapel Bridge, the oldest covered wooden bridge in Europe, and you look up to see 17th century paintings adorning the ceiling. It's like an open-air museum that you can walk through. Here's a fun fact. The bridge was almost completely destroyed by a fire in 1993, but the townsfolk rebuilt it with such precision that you'd never know the difference. Talk about resilience. If you're into legends, climb up to the Lion Monument, a giant dying lion carved into a sandstone wall. Mark Twain called it the saddest and most moving piece of rock in the world. It's a tribute to the Swiss guards who were massacred during the French Revolution. It's like the old Yeller of sculptures, guaranteed to tug at your heartstrings. And for all you Game of Thrones fans out there, the Mussig Wall will give you serious King's Landing vibes. The wall and its 9 towers have stood since the 14th century, and you can even climb some of them for panoramic views of the city and Lake Lucerne. Number 3. Interlaken, the adventure capital. If Switzerland were a theme park, Interlaken would be the roller coaster that everyone lines up for. Nestled between 2 sparkling lakes, this town is the gateway to adrenaline-pumping activities that would make even James Bond raise an eyebrow. Ever fancied paragliding over mountains? Here you can soar like a bird over the Alps, and if you're lucky, you might even share the sky with an eagle or two. It's like starring in your own Nat Geo documentary. But here's something not everyone knows. There's an underground lake called St. Vitus Caves nearby. Legend has it that a dragon once lived there until a monk named Beatus drove it away. So if you were jealous of Harry Potter's adventures, now's your chance to explore some mystical caves yourself. For a more laid-back experience, take a cruise on Lake Thun or Lake Breens. The turquoise waters are so clear, you'd think they were filtered by Mother Nature herself. And don't forget to try some Swiss chocolate from local shops. Trust me, Willy Wonka's got nothing on these chocolatiers. Number 4. Jungfraujoch, the top of Europe. Ever wanted to touch the sky? At Jungfraujoch, you practically can. Known as the top of Europe, this place is so high up that clouds are your neighbors. You get there by riding the Jungfrau Railway, which is an experience in itself. The train tunnels through mountains and glaciers. It's like a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie. Here's a cool tidbit. Jungfraujoch has the highest post office in Europe. So if you've ever wanted to send a postcard from the clouds, now's your chance. Imagine your friends' faces when they see the postmark. But the real showstopper is the Aletsch Glacier, the longest glacier in the Alps. Walking on it feels like stepping on a giant frozen river. Just don't try ice skating unless you want to end up like a character from Ice Age. For those who love a bit of sparkle, The Ice Palace features sculptures carved out of, you guessed it, ice. It's like Elsa from Frozen decided to redecorate. Just remember to wear warm clothes. It's colder than a snowman's handshake in there. Number 5. Geneva and Jet d'Eau. Geneva is like the United Nations of cities, literally. It's home to the European headquarters of the UN, but that's not why we're here. The real star is the Jet d'Eau, a massive water fountain that shoots water 140 meters into the air. It's so tall that if you stacked 35 giraffes on top of each other, they still wouldn't reach the top. Here's a secret spot. If you walk along the jetty, you can get up close to the fountain. But beware, you might get soaked. Think of it as a free shower, courtesy of Lake Geneva. Speaking of the lake, you can take a paddle steamer cruise and enjoy views of the Swiss and French Alps. It's like being in a painting, except you can feel the breeze and smell the fresh air. For all the science geeks, myself included, the CERN laboratory is just outside the city. While you might not recreate the Big Bang, you can visit the exhibitions and feel like Tony Stark for a day. Number 6. The magical village of Grindelwald. No, not the dark wizard from Fantastic Beasts, but this Grindelwald is just as enchanting. Nestled in the Bernese Alps, this village is the starting point for numerous hiking trails and has views that could make a grown man weep. Here's a hidden gem, the Gletscherschlucht, or Glacier Gorge. It's a walkway that takes you through a dramatic gorge with waterfalls and unique rock formations. The walls are so high and close together, it's like Mother Nature's own skyscrapers. If you're into thrills, try the first cliff walk. It's a walkway suspended along the side of a mountain. Yes, it's as terrifying and exhilarating as it sounds. But the views are worth it. You'll feel like you're walking on air. In winter, the place transforms into a snow sports paradise. Whether you're skiing, snowboarding, or building a snowman that would make Olaf jealous, there's something for everyone. Number 7. The Rhine Falls, Europe's largest waterfall. If you thought Niagara Falls was impressive, wait until you see the Rhine Falls. Located near Schaffhausen, these are the largest plain waterfalls in Europe. The sheer volume of water cascading down is enough to make Poseidon proud. Here's a tip. Take a boat tour that brings you to the rock in the middle of the falls. Climb up the stairs, and you'll find yourself surrounded by roaring water on all sides. It's like being in the middle of a watery symphony, with nature as the conductor. For a bird's eye view, visit the nearby castles, Schlosslaufen and Schlossworth. Not only do they offer fantastic vantage points, but exploring them feels like stepping into a medieval tale. Who knows, maybe you'll find a damsel in distress or a dragon hiding in the dungeons. And if you visit at night during the summer months, you'll catch the illuminated falls. The lights make the water glow in different colors, turning the entire area into a magical wonderland. Number 8. Bern, the charming capital. Bern might be the capital city, but it feels more like a cozy town straight out of a storybook. With its well-preserved medieval old town, Bern is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that oozes charm from every cobblestone. Did you know that Einstein lived here when he developed the theory of relativity? You can visit his house, now a museum, and maybe some of that genius will rub off on you. E=mc² might finally make sense. A fun secret. There's a park called the Rose Garden that offers the best views of the city. It's the perfect spot for a picnic or to watch the sunset paint the sky with colors Monet would envy. But the highlight has to be the Zitglog, an ornate clock tower with moving puppets. Crowds gather every hour to watch the little show. It's like a 16th century version of a Netflix binge, only shorter and without the monthly subscription. And let's not forget the Bear Park. Yes, real bears. Since Bern's name is derived from the German word for bear, they've kept live bears in the city since the 16th century. It's like having a live-action Jungle Book right at the city center. Number 9. The Italian flair of Lugano. If Switzerland and Italy had a love child, it would be Lugano. Located in the Ticino region, Lugano offers palm trees, Mediterranean vibes, and gelato that'll make you question all previous life choices. Here's an insider tip. Take the funicular up to Monte San Salvatore. From the top, you get panoramic views of Lake Lugano and the surrounding mountains. It's so beautiful, it might just inspire you to write poetry, or at least a heartfelt Instagram caption. For a touch of culture, visit the Hermann Hesse Museum in nearby Montagnola. The Nobel Prize-winning author lived here, and the museum showcases his life work. It's a must-visit for literature buffs and anyone who appreciates a good story. And if you're into films, the Locarno Film Festival is held annually not far from Lugano. You might bump into celebrities or catch an avant-garde film that makes you ponder the meaning of life, or at least scratch your head in confusion. Number 10. Swiss National Park. Untamed Wilderness. Last but definitely not least, we have the Swiss National Park, Switzerland's only national park. If you've ever wanted to unplug from the digital world and reconnect with nature, this is the place. The park is a sanctuary for wildlife like ibexes, marmots, and golden eagles. Walking through its trails feels like entering a real-life Lion King, minus the lions, but with all the majesty. Here's something not many people know. The park strictly enforces a look but don't touch policy. You can't leave the trails, pick flowers, or disturb the animals. It's like visiting a friend's house with a no shoes inside rule, but on a grander scale. For the adventurous souls, there's a hike to the untouched Val Trupken Valley, which boasts the highest concentration of wildlife in the park. Bring binoculars, and you might just spot a herd of deer or a sneaky fox. And here's a fun challenge. There's no accommodation inside the park, so you'll stay in nearby villages. It's the perfect excuse to experience Swiss hospitality and perhaps enjoy some local cheese that'll make your taste buds dance. And there you have it. Switzerland, a land where every corner feels like a postcard and every moment is an adventure. So what are you waiting for? Pack your bags, grab your camera, and let the wonders of Switzerland blow your mind, one breathtaking view at a time.